Maverick News, the antivirus program for your mind. And now, the Freedom Reporters.
Good morning, everyone. This is a Maverick News emergency broadcast. We're bringing you up to date on this situation in Crimea where a Russian ship has been attacked and is now sunk. This information that we have is coming to us from multiple sources. We did have a news update through the evening with regard to this, where Kevin Michelizzi provided a report about the sound of explosions near an area where he lives in Crimea. Now, Kevin was only able to get so far and get so much information. He wasn't able to get us visual confirmation, and the information we were getting from him really didn't go much beyond that. But we do have multiple sources, different streams of information, and that includes new video that has now been released by Ukrainian forces, which we have confirmed as being authentic, eyewitness accounts, and we also have an information stream that provides us with information from other contacts on the ground over in Crimea, all of which gives us enough information that we can confirm that this Russian ship was attacked, that British sea drones and U.S. surveillance drones were involved in this attack. And we do have this video for you now that we can share with you. This is video that was shot from a submarine and gives us a water level view of the attack and the subsequent explosion, the first explosion that took place involving this ship. So this is an amphibious Russian ship, the Caesar Kunikov, and I'll bring this footage up here for you now. Let's take a look at it together. And we have the internet spinning a bit here, but it'll catch up. I hope. Internet not cooperating. Let's see if we can rejig this. Somebody doesn't seem to want us to run this footage. Let's go back down. Here we go. We can run it from this source. I think we can do without the audio. Just bring this down. We have to go to a different tab. Here we go. Sorry, folks, still not cooperating. We'll flip to a different tab. How about this one? Nope. This one. Internet. Here we go. I've got it for you now. Here's the footage. There's the ship. Let me just pull it back to the beginning. There's a clearer shot right at the beginning of the Kunikov there. And there are reports that the Kunikov was loaded with cargo, possibly munitions, some munitions. And there was a large explosion afterward. The Russian Defense Ministry still not releasing any official statement on this, only saying that this was an alleged attack at this point. However, as you're about to see right there, that does not appear to be alleged. That is a major explosion, and that ship is now underwater. Now, there is also footage and still images that we have seen that indicate a rescue vessel was in the vicinity, and it appears the crew of approximately 300 on board were rescued. Not clear at this point, no word yet on possible injuries or casualties, but the majority, if not all, of the crew, it appears, did get off the vessel, off the Kunikov. And this is footage released by Ukraine. This is a major development in the war between Russia and Ukraine, insofar as it's a major public relations victory for Ukraine, and it comes at a time when Russia, I think, has been winning on the information warfare front, if you want to call it that, or the propaganda war, because there's plenty of propaganda coming from all sides, which is always the case during times of war. As they say, truth is the first casualty of war. Here's the Kunikov in other footage, just to give you an idea. This is older footage, obviously, and this gives you an indication of the ship's size and its purpose as the front of the ship opens up, and you'll see light armored vehicles and other military armored vehicles being unloaded onto this beach. So this is obviously older footage. And this also shows, I think, that, and this is just my assessment, my own editorial view on this, it shows that this war is not over. We keep hearing predictions that the war will be over in X number of months, or that Ukraine doesn't stand a chance, that the United States, NATO, the Western countries are running out of ammo to supply Ukraine. And while I think that it is a challenge for the West to continue to feed those supply chains, this does indicate that this war, unfortunately, is still far from over. And we saw just yesterday that the Senate in the United States approved additional funding. I believe it was an additional $95 billion. Let me just confirm that amount. Yeah, $95 billion in assistance for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Donald Trump was staunchly opposed to it. Many Republicans were, but it did pass yesterday, but it still has to go to the House for final approval. It may face a lot more opposition there, so it's not a done deal, but that is a major sum of money, and it just shows that there is still a fair amount of resolve on behalf of NATO and the U.S., the Biden administration, to continue this war, can continue to carry it forward. But as you can see, the Russian Navy is still in a position of some vulnerability here, obviously, because that ship is now scrap. And whatever cargo is on board, and it appears that may have been a heavy load of munitions, also lost. A major asset for the Russian Federation. Also, it appears some drones were shot down in Crimea overnight. The number of drones, let me just check my notes here. I think it was 6 in total. This ship went down about a kilometer or so offshore, near sunk off the southern coast near some Samayas, and as I say, the Russian authorities still not actually acknowledging that this has happened. Obviously, we're into an environment of information warfare, and this doesn't really look good for Russia, obviously. So the slow response from the media side on this from Russia, I think, is an indication that they're probably trying to figure out exactly how to handle the distribution of this information. This is video of the ship produced by the Russian military, a promotional video. So this is what they lost. Now, I don't know exactly how much the ship might have been worth or how much it would cost to build it, but hundreds of millions of dollars at a minimum. So it is a substantial loss for Russia. It's a PR victory for Ukraine, to be sure. And that may be, integral to the approval of that, the final approval of that $95 billion in funding for not just Ukraine, but also Israel, and the ramp up in Taiwan, obviously approving that kind of money and making it clear that it's earmarked for Taiwan. It shows that the United States is positioning itself for a possible conflict with China. And that obviously is something that should concern us all, because we're now looking at a situation where the United States could be fighting, we're involved with, maybe not directly fighting, but involved with and supporting conflicts on 3 sides. And that could be extremely difficult to sustain. Very, very difficult. So this is footage of the Kunikov. And this ship apparently was damaged in a previous attack back in 2022. I do remember the attack, and this is the same ship that was damaged before, apparently. That's the information we're getting. But now not just damaged, completely demolished, destroyed. So that's where things stand this morning with this. We will continue to follow this story through the day. Russian authorities at this point not acknowledging that this ship has gone down yet. But we can confirm here at Maverick News thanks to our sources over in Crimea, because we have multiple streams of information coming into us here, that this ship has actually gone down. And we also have an information stream through domestic sources that then reach out into Crimea as well. So we've been able to confirm this as being authentic and truthful information by confirming it with multiple sources. And as you can see, that footage from the Ukrainian military in this case does appear to be authentic. Now, I can tell you that sometimes the information we get, even videos released by the military on either side, we question it. It's not always accurate or true, because if anybody is going to engage in disinformation or propaganda, it's a military outfit. Regardless of what country you're dealing with, you could be dealing with some sort of propaganda. In this case, though, it is propaganda, but it's accurate propaganda. It really did happen. And so I hope you found that useful, because we all deserve and need to get the facts. You deserve it, especially at this time when we have a heightened level of disinformation, misinformation, malinformation, whatever you want to call it. It's propaganda. We're in a war, an actual war, and information warfare is the new and probably the most important front line. As much as the attack on that ship is important, the information flowing from this incident is equally important. And later tonight, during our regular broadcast here on Maverick News, I'll get into more analysis and explain why this particular attack is perhaps more significant than anyone realizes even now, and what the status of the war really is tonight at 6 p.m. here on the Maverick News channel. So stay close to your devices. Monitor this Maverick News channel. We will continue to update this story as needed through the day with live hits, live updates. And then we will be back tonight at 6 p.m. with our regular Maverick News program, where we have the antivirus programs for your mind. I'm Rick Walker. Catch you guys then on the flip side.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.